Dominique from DLM Journey, and I'm doing a video on my personal experience on traveling to Paris. And before I get started, briefly, by no means am I saying that I'm a traveler or am I a historian. I'm definitely not going to include any of my insights. More so, this is just coming from your typical commoner or nurse going into a different country. This is the first time that I've been outside of the US for a little while, so I just wanted to share some personal insights of my assessment of what my thoughts are about Paris. And so again, bear with my French accent and or not my French, I don't have a French accent, but bear with how I pronounce certain things. So again, I am not a traveler blog. So I want to thank my parents for giving me and my little brother the opportunity to travel with them, because if it wasn't for them, we wouldn't have been able to see Paris and other parts of Europe. We decided to travel Europe as a family together for 2 weeks. So our first stop was at Paris. I'm going to talk about my thoughts on Paris and what we did and how I felt about certain things. So yeah, let's get started. First, we left the States in the DMV area. We had a connecting flight, so we had to fly out to New York, the JFK airport to Paris. And so that was a long process in itself. If we could probably change what we did, we probably wouldn't have any connecting flights. So I would recommend only doing a one-stop kind of thing. It does take a little bit of time to get to Paris. I would say like 8 hours or so, something like that, in that range, 7 to 8 hours. We arrived to Charles de Gaulle Airport, and from the airport we went to Hotel Elysée Union. Now granted, there's two different hotels, I think, in Paris. There's Hotel Elysée and then there's Hotel Elysée Union. So as you are aware, Hotel Elysée Union is a little bit more cheaper. I just looked it up on Google. I think they're on price for right now for like $150 to $169 a night. It comes with free Wi-Fi and free breakfast, which is a big emphasis on what my mom was looking for. So she definitely wanted to take advantage of free breakfast. So anyway, I think she booked it through Expedia, so they do have deals there, and it is also metro accessible to Beausier, and there is a small convenience store right beside it if you can get, like, if you are desiring to get like last minute water bottles or like, you know, just wines and different alcoholic beverages and things. So it was already morning by the time that we arrived to Paris. And so we were definitely exhausted. We definitely want to just settle in. Our hotel, I don't have any pictures of the hotel because it is not that inviting. Again, we're not in Paris for the hotel. We're in Paris to see Paris. So whatever its use, we were just gonna sleep in there and, you know, kind of start walking out. So our main mode of transportation was through using their metro. This is a video. So this was my lifeline when I was there. This is literally the map that I used to make sure that I knew where we were going. We learned it's not any different from the metro stations that you're used to here, but it's definitely much bigger than the DMV area in my opinion. There's a lot more lines, a lot more colors, and a lot more stops. And in DC, it's a little bit more, it's simpler. You definitely know where you're going. And you definitely know where you're stopping, but because it is a foreign country to us, it was a little bit more difficult. The signs were kind of in different places where you normally wouldn't look. So just give you guys a heads up. Our hotel, once we got our nap in, we went straight to the metro, started learning the metro. Our first stop was to go see the Arc de Triomphe, and that's where you, I think like if you go south or at least straight from one of the roads, Champs-Élysées, and where you have all of the Louis Vuittons, the expensive stores where you can go shopping. Everyone's there, and so that was our first stop, was Arc de Triomphe. So took a few pictures there. Very beautiful. Didn't get too close to it just because we didn't know what to expect with most of the riots were the riots and the protests were usually starting in that area, so we definitely didn't want to get close, but we just kind of stayed from afar and took pictures from there. And then we started walking down to Champs-Élysées, and unfortunately my first experience with Paris is a group of girls that were trying to get into my wallet. And so if you're watching this video, if you're watching any other blogging videos, they talk about this all the time, that it is very common for young girls and people trying to pickpocket you or trying to get some money out of you, trying to manipulate you, things like that. And so that didn't really fit well with me, especially not on the first day when you're trying to enjoy a vacation and a group of girls that are out there trying to get you. So that was very upsetting to me. But luckily I had my brother, I had my parents that was right near me when they were trying to reach for my purse, and so we were quickly, and I lock my purse anyway, so if they were trying to get to my wallet they weren't able to. So that was kind of stupid. But anyway, after that, I think there's also again with the riots and with the protests that were happening, there were literally police stops as you move forward or as you walk forward Champs-Élysées, which wasn't really inviting to us either. I think to me, and just for my assessment, I wouldn't want to be walking around and worried about my surroundings. And I did feel like, as a commoner or someone who is foreign, that I felt like I was watching my back every time I was walking through a new environment. So but anyway, getting back to the good parts of this trip, I decided to stop whining, stop complaining, or stop trying to, get into a fight with someone. My mom decided to go to get a Louis Vuitton, so she definitely went in and bought herself her bag or whatnot, and it's a beautiful Louis Vuitton store. At least, again, we have a few Louis Vuitton stores here in the DMV area. We actually have a few, but definitely the one in Paris was very regal, in my opinion. Very extravagant. You have different designs that you normally wouldn't see on a regular Louis Vuitton store. And what's good about it is that everything that you buy is tax-free, so you can get it reimbursed when you leave the country, so which is nice. So she bought herself a Louis Vuitton. I did not want to buy from there because I was just not in the mood because of my personal experience. And so we decided to kind of make a stop and just kind of regroup. And we ate at one of their local restaurants in the same area. I would say that we did take a look at La Durée. La Durée was a restaurant or a pastry bakery shop where you can sit down and have macaroons and coffee. However, when we looked at the prices, it was too expensive in our opinion. I don't think that we were gonna get full off of that. I think we just decided to just eat where we could sit down and have pasta or whatnot. So we did not eat at La Durée, but just again, if you guys were to eat there, it does the macaroons. I did buy elsewhere. So Ladurée is a big company, so they were serving Ladurée macaroons at the airport, so that's the only time that I was able to eat macaroons. But the macaroons in Paris is so much better than the macaroons here, and so I was very, very surprised. I even told my mom that, oh, I'm not out there for macaroons, because we have macaroons here. But the minute that I was able to like actually get a taste of the macaroons there, it's so much better, so much softer, different fillings, and it's airy. It's not like the ones here that are too dried out, and so much better. So I definitely recommend anyone to try a macaroon in Paris. So it's so good, it's really good. I just after we had dinner, or lunch dinner, we just went back, took a nap again, because again we were coming back from a flight on the same day, and then when we woke up we decided to take a quick trip to the Eiffel Tower. So the Eiffel Tower, where I personally think it's the best view, kudos to my dad, he planned all of this stuff. That it is also metro accessible in Trocadero. It's in the Palais des Charlotte stands, and so you can actually take pictures from far away. I was able to get great pictures of my parents, and just in general of the lighting, and so it's beautiful. There's a certain hour in the night where it sprinkles, like the lights sprinkle, so it's really, really a beautiful sight, very Instagram worthy for pictures. And I definitely recommend going at night as well, even though that it does feel like you still have to kind of walk towards there with your guard up, because people are still out there trying to manipulate you, especially in the metro stations. Right where we took pictures, there's actually a cart there where they just sell like quick sandwiches, crepes, and other things. So I decided to have my first Nutella crepe there, and it was so good. I took home one for my brother, and he fell in love with it, so we were definitely gonna go back the next day to get some Nutella crepes. So I made it a choice. I'm like, okay, you know, I'm gonna get some sleep after like having such an exhausted day, and to have had such a terrible first experience. I was definitely gonna make it a point to make day 2 a lot more better. And so I definitely need to keep my guard up. I definitely know to keep my purse on me. Definitely need to, you know, say no to people and to just enjoy my vacation. So day 2, we woke up. We did have pre-booked tickets to Louvre, and that is, if you're not aware of the Louvre, that is where Mona Lisa resides. And so a definitely beautiful museum, different art, paintings, different arts pieces, sculptures. And so we definitely, again, as a family, we're not the type of person to you know, read every single thing. We just definitely want to just embrace the experience of it by just looking at a variety of pieces. But we definitely had our eyes set on Mona Lisa. So we pretty much spent the whole day trying to find Mona Lisa. Not too bad, not the whole day, but like a few hours. See if we can tackle this. Excuse me, go ahead. I want to go to the center. And so as you go through the Louvre, you'll eventually lead there, because there's different signs to Mona Lisa. So come to my surprise, you know, Mona Lisa is not all that. I mean, like, you know, it's you actually come across much more better pieces, in my opinion, as from a visual standpoint. You can see from like wall, like a whole wall of art that is much bigger, and then when you come across Mona Lisa, you're like, oh, she's pretty tiny. So it's not all that, in my opinion, but I definitely, again, I am grateful to have seen Mona Lisa, and she's awesome, so she's my girl. So anyway, from Mona Lisa, we went to, after the Louvre, we weren't that hungry. I don't even think we ate just yet. We definitely wanted to take a walk some more. So we went to Pont des Arts, hoping to see, to get pictures of like the locks that are usually placed over the bridges. And so in this case, I don't know why it was different. Maybe, I don't know, I was expecting like a whole bridge of locks. I didn't get to see that. Instead, I got to see like locks on like lampposts. So I don't know if that was something changed, or maybe we missed a certain bridge that we were supposed to look for. But anyway, I was still grateful we got to see Pont des Arts. And from Pont des Arts, we did not take the metro at all. We just decided to take a leisure walk. It's actually a very long walk, but if you don't get tired easily, I think it's more than doable. I was actually wearing a light heel, and I was still comfortable walking. So we walked from Pont des Arts to Notre Dame, the cathedral, and it is unfortunate that you know, that all the events that happened to the church from the recent posts that I've been seeing and the recent videos, and I'm so glad that people are donating to actually get it rebuilt and redone. And so I am actually very, very grateful that me and my family were able to see the church before all of the events that had happened. We were up there very close. We didn't go inside. Again, we're not that type of family that just goes in and, you know, gets a feel for things, but we definitely got to see it from afar, took some great pictures, you know, sat down and took a break, and yeah, just very sad, but it's a beautiful place, very clean. From there, we were not gonna go through the metro this time. We wanted to see what Uber was about, so I looked up Uber. I think we were getting tired too, to be honest. That's why we decided to Uber, but we took an Uber. We wanted to do one last stop to see another church, and we wanted to see the peaks of Sacre Coeur, and as you guys are aware, it's pretty much the heart of Paris as well. At the very top of Sacre Coeur, you can see pretty much all of Paris, and it's very since it is a little bit more elevated, the air is much cleaner. A lot of people there actually taking pictures as well. Sorry about that. I think my camera just like fell asleep on me, but so yeah, so at the peak of the Sacre Coeur, you can see that the air is a little bit much cleaner, but there's a lot of people that are trying to take pictures and all that good stuff, and it is definitely a great view of Paris. I don't remember being able to see the Eiffel Tower from there. I think it's too far away. However, it is definitely just a great peak view. There's also people there also trying to manipulate you, trying to get your signatures and stuff, so definitely say no to those people and just shoo them away, because they're very annoying, to tell you the truth. They don't know how to stop there. So anyway, from again, we didn't go inside Sacre Coeur. We just sat there for a little while. At the very end of, kind of like when you go down from Sacre Coeur, there's a restaurant there where I first had cooked snails. It was so good, soft. It wasn't gamey as I thought that it would be. It was just a very, very good experience. I had some pasta. My brother had a burger, of course. He always eats burgers. And so my parents and my dad, my parents, my mom and dad, I don't remember what they've had, but everything was very delicious in my point. I think that it's very cheap in my opinion. So it was south from Sacre Coeur, which is a weird thing too, just observing that they take credit cards. If you call your bank ahead of time and tell them that you're going to Paris or wherever in Italy, you can actually use your card. It's just certain restaurants don't accommodate like I don't know whether it's the chip or the whatever, they don't have the machine, but they actually had to go outside to pay, so they use a different machine. Sometimes even different connecting restaurants do that as well. But when I get to my Florence video, I definitely got to see that firsthand. So certain restaurants will pair and share the credit card machine, so which is weird. I know that I was definitely iffy about that, like why are they going outside to do that, but it is definitely normal there, so just giving a heads up. Anyway, from Sacre Coeur, we wanted to do one last stop to see the Eiffel Tower, because my brother wasn't with us the first night. So we stopped by the Eiffel Tower, took pictures again. It started raining. We went up close this time and just walked back to where we first did our pictures, and I was able to get picture shots of my brother, me, and just in general of having pictures of the Eiffel Tower is just so beautiful. It's a great sight. It's very Instagram worthy. And my brother fell in love with a Nutella crepe, so decided to take pictures with the crepe. So anyway, other than that, we went back home, and we knew that was going to be our last day in Paris. We only wanted to spend 2 days, roughly 2 nights in Paris, and then we were going to set off to another flight to go to Venice, Italy. So yeah, and that's an upcoming video, but hopefully you guys enjoyed this fairly briefly. It wouldn't be my type of video if I didn't show you what my journal looked like, so I definitely want to show you guys that. So the first book, I have only 2 booklets in here, and then I also have a folder insert where I can just hold things in there. These are my travel notes. This is the layout of what the plan was going to be as far as the dates of where we're going. Decided to draw a map of Italy. I didn't draw Paris because Paris was definitely an offsite. We weren't originally going to go to Paris, but anyway, decided to draw Italy. And then as far as Paris, I definitely had some quick notes just while I was at the airport, kind of going through time. And I also decided to draw a rough map of the Arc. It's a very, when you look at it from the map, it's actually very beautiful, very, distinct patterns that are parallels, and also decided to draw the Eiffel Tower. As I move on to Venice, I won't go into that, but I'll show you guys. As you can see, I didn't finish the rest of the trip. I have a story for that. That's because I got sick. But anyway, whenever I had like tickets and stuff, I would hold it here, or any pamphlets. I definitely, while I was in Paris, I was holding the map here very close to me, just because I needed to be easily accessible. And this whole Midori Traveler's Notebook, even though that it is the larger size, it was able to fit in my pocket, so which was very convenient. So daily notes, this is where I like to gather different receipts and things, magazines, different like paper, like random, I don't know what you call it, but I cut this out from a French magazine. We didn't go to any of these places, but we definitely went to Sacre Coeur. So that's why I put there. There's different shops there as well, but we didn't go walk around in there. So this was our first checklist for day 1 in Paris and what we were going to go see. Anytime that we didn't get to see something, we definitely moved it on. So I do little symbols in that way. I also wrote of some restaurants that were very recommended and some foods to eat. We didn't get to eat everything, of course. We weren't really on the lookout for specific foods. We should have been a little bit more kind of cautious about what we were ordering, but unfortunately we were not. So day 2, again, just like how I described it, we went to the Louvre, Pont des Arts, then we went to Notre Dame and Sacre Coeur. We didn't go to Bistro Victorious, it's too far. So it was part of our plan, but we definitely didn't. So anyway, day 2 was much better for me. As you can see, I got this from the Louvre. It's like a pop-out card. It's cute. And I also decorated the background with random magazine inserts and then the metro map again. So I took 2 different copies. I cut this out. This is the same map from here, but I decided to put it in here and circle the metros that we went to and the places that we went to. And then the next one was just an envelope that I got. This envelope actually holds this card, so I decided to tape it in and just use it for receipts. So now that if we move on, this is actually Venice, which I'm not going to show you for now. Until next time, bye.
I love it. Why you don't want? Why you don't want? This way. Or maybe she's born with it. Maybe she's Maybelline.